Guys, welcome to Simply Bitcoin, a channel that breaks down all the daily Bitcoin news from Twitter to important updates to cringy fails. We've got it all. But before we get started, drop us a like and don't forget to subscribe. My co-host, Nico, aka BitVolt7, is going to be joining us shortly. But for now, we are going to start off with the Clark Moody dashboard.
Clark Moody dashboard.
Block height, 644,188. Price, 12,398. Chain rewrite days, 529. And the total lightning capacity is at 989.99 BTC. So we're actually very slightly up from last week.
And check out that GBTC premium, Phil. It went from 20% down to 10.
It's a serious drop.
I know, right? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Boomer Bitcoin.
Sorry?
Boomer Bitcoin.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, we had a nice little piece of action today. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
But before we get into checking the price, we are gonna hit the daily fail.
Daily fail.
I like it. The rubber chicken. Okay, so our daily fail is ETC. Ethereum, for the people who don't know what that is, it's Ethereum Classic. This was the original Ethereum before they forked it to make Ethereum 2.0, which is the ETH that most people get shitcoined into today. But some people still get screwed into ETC. And for people who don't know, this is one of these tokens that takes approximately, I think, between 3,000 to 6,000 confirmations. I think it's 6,000. Maybe it's 3. Either way. It's a lot. It's many thousands of confirmations before they will accept the transfer. And essentially, OKX is actually deciding to – it's very difficult for them because it's the majority of their volume, but they're really contemplating now finally delisting this total shitcoin.
They don't have a choice.
That's right. And one of the really important things about this that people don't realize is that it doesn't cost a lot to do this to this coin. And this is one of the big problems. And this goes back to something, this is a point that, BitVolt has made time and time again, that hash is security. And you see, this coin does not have the security, so much so to the point, okay, that it's worthwhile for people to come and, hack it again and again to withdraw profits. And, at the end of the day, it's the exchanges that are, they're getting screwed. I mean, obviously, so are the coin holders, but they're trying to facilitate this exchange, and this coin isn't worth exchanging. So,
absolutely,
ETC, our daily fail. That's why you got to stay away from the shit coins.
Stay away from the shit coins. Exactly. Well, I would say I feel bad for that exchange, but man, it was their choice to kind of deal with the devil, so to speak. So I do feel bad, but man, that's what you get, right?
Look, it hasn't been a secret from the days that I shitcoined, it was 3,000 confirmations before they would accept your ETC. So
it hasn't changed.
It hasn't changed in 2 years. I mean, this is like no news. I mean, OKX is just, they're freaking living off of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is why it's so tough for them. So again, they're not looking out for your best interest. They're looking out for theirs.
They're looking for their pocket. Exactly.
That's right. So
speaking of pocket, what do you think about talking about the price action, Phil?
Oh man, today was a beautiful day.
Today was a good day. It was a great day.
It wasn't a face ripping, it wasn't a face melter, but it was a definite, oh yeah.
It was a foreshadowing to what's to come.
Yeah.
Guys, look, I was saying earlier, I would say last week, we've definitely established, that's a line, my bad. We've definitely established an uptrend. Okay, it's confirmed. This is definitely an uptrend. So, it's going to be interesting to see what the price does because we've established an uptrend. So it looks like it's on the way up. Like I've been saying, it still looks like the resistance level is at 12.5. So if it stays between this 10.5 level and 12.5 level, 12.5K level, again, it's not really that crazy because there's resistance on the top and there's support on the bottom. But what's really, really interesting is that we established this uptrend line going up. So that kind of gives us an idea of what to expect, right? We either when we hit this level or before that, which is September 2nd, so I would say 2 weeks, it's going to let us know whether we're going to drop to the bottom or whether we're going to go to the top. This looks like very bullish action. The volume is going down, but I still suspect and I still want the price to consolidate a little bit. So today's movement up was really nice for the day traders, but for the long-term holders on the macro perspective, there wasn't really anything significant. I'm still looking for that 12.5K level.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And the key takeaway when you're looking at these charts, I think, obviously there's many takeaways, but one of the keys that I take away that's simple to understand is when you're looking at price action, when you look at these candles, right, you see the higher highs and the higher lows. Those are confirmations of the liquidity move, like the price stabilizing at those levels. So it's definitely very bullish.
It's very bullish, and I agree. I agree with all those points. And guys, I kind of want to talk about our new segment for today. And it was very interesting because Warren Buffett, who's very infamous in the Bitcoin community for calling Bitcoin squared, and the reason that I want to talk about, but yeah, exactly, rat poison squared, exactly. So he's very famous in the Bitcoin community for calling Bitcoin rat poison squared. And he kind of said the same thing about gold. Obviously, he didn't mention rat poison, but he had the same thoughts about gold. Why? Yeah. Because he is a value investor. So he believes that if an asset is not giving you, it's not producing profit, therefore it's worthless, right? So that was his thoughts on gold. Well, it was kind of a big deal, and it made a big splash in the Bitcoin community and in general because Warren Buffett has changed alliances, and guess what? He's buying gold. So he's starting to dabble in gold, and he explained this in his last press conference. I'm going to play it to you. I'm going to play you, a 30-second video.
Yeah,
kind of gets into why he's dabbling into gold, right? And we'll talk about it after the video.
Yeah, this was good.
I've been surprised. So I've been wrong so far. I do not think that I don't see how you can create. I would say this: if you can have negative interest rates and pour out money and incur more and more debt relative to productive capacity, you'd think the world would have discovered it in the first couple thousand years rather than just coming on it now. But we will see. It's probably the most interesting question I've ever seen in economics. Is can you keep doing what we're doing now? And we've been able to do it. The world's been able to do it for now a dozen years or so. But we may be facing a period where we're testing that hypothesis that you can continue it with a lot more force than we've tested it before. Well,
so basically what he was saying, guys, and I'm going to stop sharing the screen so we have a discussion about it. Basically what he was saying is like, dude, we're printing money and we're getting so intense at printing money. Remember that the US just added $9 trillion to its balance sheet because of COVID, right? We printed ourselves out of a recession, right? Which is why the S&P is about to make an all-time high. That's why the NASDAQ is at an all-time high. We basically printed ourselves out of recession, but something very interesting happened. Inflation didn't increase, right? So Warren Buffett saw this and he's just like, what the hell is going on? And it's such a significant thing that he's never bought gold in his entire life. He saw that and he feels like something's up, that it kind of forced him to go into gold because he's seeing money as this fake entity because we're just printing it. And it's like, and he has the same suspicion as Bitcoiners. We're just like, this isn't sustainable, right? So gold is, and I pulled this article earlier, what JP Morgan says to millennials, to the younger crowd, Bitcoin is what gold is to the boomers, right? So Warren Buffett buying gold is like the equivalent of a younger Warren Buffett buying Bitcoin. What do you think, Phil?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think, though, unfortunately, So it's kind of interesting, right? That somebody who, let's face it, he is absolutely the, the best. In my books, he is the best investor of all time. Like I don't really care for, like paper trades and stuff like that. At the end of the day, this guy bought, incredible companies dirt cheap and was able to profit off of them handsomely by doing a lot less legwork than a lot of other people. So he knows what he's doing. And it's kind of shocking that he's seemingly coming to this revelation now that this doesn't make sense.
Absolutely.
It hasn't made sense for years. And he's saying, oh, we've been doing this for a dozen years or so. He's very much mistaken about that. We've been doing this for, 200 years. So it's a little bit different, like the Fed has failed 4 times before this. And people just don't realize that yet. It's all just different iterations, constantly trying to fix the last one. And again, all they do is just simply rehash the same thing again. So naturally the bubbles get bigger, the debt gets bigger, we print more money, and here we are. So
Absolutely.
Now it's good. It's good that he's waking up to this, though. I definitely think it's bullish. I don't see him getting Bitcoin yet, but it's going to be a very interesting day. Warren Buffett is one of those people who is willing to admit when he's incorrect.
That he's wrong. Mm-hmm.
And he is willing to take action when he's incorrect, to take the correct action. So I'm interested to when that happens.
Absolutely. And just to kind of, put the cherry on the top, it's not only Buffett that's saying that, this $1 trillion bailout, because it was much more than that, it's not going to end well. It's other big guys, right? So,
yes.
They're all saying the same thing, right? Which is like something's going on, and what central global banks are printing trillions of dollars in an effort to help countries stimulate their respective economies, right? And what's crazy is that, this is so worrying to Warren Buffett, to a guy like Warren Buffett, that he's willing to buy gold, and he's never done that in his entire life. That's what he sees, right? And this other investor that I just pulled up the article about, he's worried about it as well. Right. So, man, I think that's super bullish. And I think that we're going to see some crazy things in the next year.
Yep. I definitely think you're right.
It's going to be very interesting. Anyways, guys, definitely go check out my podcast tomorrow. It's with John Vallis. We have this very interesting conversation about psychedelics, Bitcoinism, and many other interesting topics. Definitely go check it out. And guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Tune in tomorrow if you want simply Bitcoin and no fucking shit coins. See you later.